Welcome to episode 30 of the Migtown podcast, the only weekly source of the show where the thumbnail art is better than the actual recording. As always, I'm producer Tim, and joining me is the mayor of Migtown, Drexel. Say hi.
Hello to everybody.
Hey, I got the right number this time.
You did. With a soundboard, no less.
Yeah, I got a new soundboard. So now I can just sit here and do this. Honestly, I just sit here. So when I bought this and installed it on my computer, all I do all day is just sit here and hit that button all day long. I just make my computer fart all day long.
Well, based on what computer you have, man, that might actually be a thing.
Hey,
because a lot of these,
my computer is amazing. How dare you?
A lot of these computers now are complete ass.
No, the user. The user is complete ass.
Silence. Shh. No such thing. No such thing. Look at that. We've got applause.
Yeah, I got a studio applause now.
Oh, man. You know, soundboards are always hilarious to me. Coach Greg Adams has it.
Oh, if you take your dick out. Or if you whisper sweet nothings to Miss Lore. And then Miss Lore sends a nude.
There's the unzip.
All right, enough of this shit.
All right, all you nasty sick pervs.
Honestly, I'm just going to retire. I'm going to retire. Shit. We're going to call Dollhouse Phil. He's going to take over the show, and I'm just going to sit here and click buttons all day.
You know, it's funny you mentioned Dollhouse Phil, because before we get into what we need to talk about today, and what we're talking about is karma, something happened. I don't know if you heard, Tim. Something happened in Japan. Did you hear the news?
No, I did not.
Well, Dollhouse Phil, I sent him a message because, according to the New York Post, posted June 22nd, emergency crew rescues sex doll after mistaking it for drowning woman. And you guys can't. We'll have to link this in the description. You guys, we can't make this shit up, dude. Sometimes you read a story that makes you just have the face, right? Have any of you guys ever made that face when you read something and you just kind of go, like this? This is what it's come to. Seriously, like this. So I'm looking at this story, man, and this shit is pure fuck shit. It says they issued an SOS, save our sex doll. It says a team of emergency rescue divers was flummoxed after responding to the scene of a nude, quote unquote, drowning woman, only to discover that it was actually a floating life-size sex doll. The uproarious gaffe was chronicled on Twitter by YouTuber Natsuki Tanaka, who had initially believed she was witnessing a real-life rescue in the city of Hachinohe, off Japan's, I'm sure I butchered that, off Japan's northeast coast, Kotaku reported. And she quotes, while filming a fishing video, I thought a dead body floating in the water had washed up, but it was a blow-up doll. Tanaka wrote about the strange scene, which occurred last week. And it goes on to talk about, you know, she's an influencer, blah, blah, blah. And it says, indeed, accompanying photos show multiple fire and rescue brigades, police, and an ambulance working to dredge the dummy from the water in front of a crowd of onlookers. Thankfully, the adult toy was, quote unquote, rescued safely, according to Tanaka, right? And of course, it shows it, and it says it's unclear how the blow-up doll ended up in the water. And then it says perhaps this once devoted doll lover finally got fed up with his silicone soulmate. However, another Twitter user who also documented the bizarre scene chalked up the incident to illegal dumping of oversized trash, which is unsurprising given Japan's stringent laws concerning garbage disposal, right? And it says, thankfully, one Japanese company has devised a more tasteful, eco-friendly way to put one's inflatable paramours out to pasture by throwing them a funeral complete with candles, undertakers, and even quote-unquote mourning mannequins. Now, that is just a great story to kind of have the light stuff going out there before we get into all the things to talk about today. So there were two things in particular that inspired this episode here about karma. One is one of the only modern rappers that I should say modern. He's not that modern now because he's been around for a while. But more modern rappers, The Game. He has a song on his Documentary 2 album called Last Time You Seen, which the chorus is Last Time You Seen Tupac. There is there's a snippet, an audio snippet of Harry O, who is the one who allegedly helped finance Death Row Records as a silent partner, and of course Suge Knight, Death Row, the legendary gangster rap label. And there's a segment in between verses 1 and 2, and the music plays in the background where Harry O talks about karma, and he says, "Look, man, karma swung to me both ways, right?" He said, when you put out good shit, you get good shit in return. And he refers to all his experiences of getting trapped into the game, right? The dope game. He was in the life. And when you're in the life, he talks about how karma hits you, right? He goes, you cross people in certain ways and things happen one way. You cross people in another way and things happen another way. And you see how this happens. And that's why he said you don't always have to be so vengeful, because karma it really tends to handle its business, right? And some people don't understand this. Some people do. But there was a guy, a YouTuber that I'm subscribed to. Check out his channel, O'Shea Duke Jackson. He made a video today, and the video chronicles he's a Black Manosphere guy, and his video talks about how the early days of the Black Manosphere between himself, Obsidian, who's a Black YouTuber, and they're putting together this Black male network in this space. And of course, everyone seems to know the name Kevin Samuels now because he's blown up. He talks about how they helped Kevin Samuels early in his YouTube career, right? Just really early on, back when he was, no one knew him, right? And someone goes, "Well, Drax, why is that a big deal?" He said, despite that their differences, and they've had heated conversations, this, that, and the other. He said, this is how this ended up unfolding. They set this foundation in place, and you fast forward to now, and believe it or not, sitting here on his show, because now he has, almost 1 million subscribers, right? Which is a pretty big deal on YouTube. So Kevin Samuels, who's nearing 1 million subscribers, is sitting there, and he is shilling Obsidian's new book. And Obsidian tells O'Shea, he goes, "Yo, man, I just by Kevin Samuels doing this, I'm selling." He's an Amazon or New York Times or Amazon, whatever, bestseller, right? He's selling, I think he said something like 3,500 books per, I want to say day. I want to say it might be day. And it counts to 6 figures. And the reason why this is so important is that he goes on to say that it all comes back to that. It's that karma. It's that energy, right? Rather than trying to tear your fellow brother down, you wanted to build him up. Because one day that same dude who was, when you guys all got into it, he was, the lesser known guy, he blows up. Rather than just being like, "Oh yeah, screw you, I'm just going to go do my own thing." What he really wants to do is help bring his brothers up. Because now I want you to think about this for a second. When a guy reaches a certain point, right, and you want to go connect with them, right? You say, "Oh, I really want this person to shill." Do you know what's beautiful about that is that when you guys have a positive energy, what ends up happening is the dude will just do it because that's the energy you get. That's the vibe. That's the relationship you guys have, right? So you don't have to convince him of anything, right? Whereas if a company said, "Hey, we want you to be our spokesman for XYZ," right? They have to pay that person, right? Like, so if you want to pay a celebrity, it's like, "Oh man, yeah, you got to pay this person X amount, and they got to, talk to their agent." But when you already have that relationship with somebody, like, in case when you guys hear this, you'll have already heard my main man, Nick Recato, who got me my start, and he's got Vic Mignogna on, right? And if anyone wants to talk to Vic Mignogna, you can't just be like, "Yo, Vic, be on my show." Ain't gonna happen, right? But you have to have a certain relationship with somebody where they'll go, "Yeah, I'll do it for free." That's the certain level that the relationship is solid, right? You guys are just good like that. And I thought about just how karma, the energy, right? People talk about feng shui and all this, just how energy kind of swings back and forth. And I started thinking about some things, right? Between, obviously with business opportunities, but I want people to really think about this. Even something simple, we see this, the way that we treat and tip our servers at bars and restaurants. You know what I'm saying? And this is a window into someone's soul, right? Because you'll be sitting there, and if you guys want to know how is someone, just how does this person operate, just go out with them. If someone has an attitude with a server and they're treating a server like shit, warning sign, huge red flag, right? And I think about a story my dad told me. My dad ended up going to a bar here in Minnesota, out in St. Paul, right? And it's called Gopher Bar. And Gopher Bar is known to be a, depending on who you ask, it makes people a little uncomfortable. Back in the day, they had a huge Confederate flag there. And, they seemed quote unquote far right to a lot of people. And it made people uncomfortable, obviously, right? And my dad would go there because they're known for their Coney Island hot dogs, right? And so, yeah, shout out to them, by the way. If you ever come through St. Paul, Minnesota, and you want a Coney dog, just head over to Gopher Bar, shameless shill. And my dad says he goes in there, and they have a huge sign in there that says, we don't accept checks, right? We don't accept personal checks. And one day my dad says he goes in there, it was either before or after work, and he wanted to get some Conies. He said, damn, man. I forgot, and he forgot his card or whatever, but all he had was his checkbook. And so he writes the check, and the guy is like, whoa, man, you can't, we don't take checks. And the owner comes out, sees who it is, because my dad's been there for years, because my dad worked at the power plant, shift operator engineer. And he worked there for years, and he's always been coming even when I was a kid, my dad was going there. So you're talking at least like 30 years, right? The owner comes around, he goes, oh, him? No, man, he's good. So he bent the rule, because the rule is basically, there's people out there scamming, right? But he knows it's that karma. This is a guy who's been coming in here 30 years, giving us business and telling his coworkers about us, giving us more business. All of a sudden, he came up short. Oh, man, I left my wallet or whatever. I thought I had it. All I got is a checkbook, but I'm hungry. That karma swung back, because now this person who owns the joint bends the rules, or in this case, breaks the rules. Like, yeah, the rule doesn't apply to you for this reason, right? And these same kinds of bends and breaks happens in our relationships, right? We look at our friends, right? I look at the Nick Ricadas of the world. And, with 4th of July coming up, we're going to go ahead and get down, right? We're going to be out there. We're going to be grilling, hanging out, talking shit, just doing what we do, right? And I just think about the relationships I have with my friends and making sure that I'm good to them. I like being good to people. Even if I come up short, I want to make sure I make amends, right? Like that's something that doesn't get talked about enough, right? Is having that empathy and that care that, hey, man, I messed up in some way. I feel like I may have done you wrong, or I can't, just any way that you come up short, you crave that. You should be like, I crave righting this wrong for you, right? And one of the things I thought about when it came to karma, right? When we swing on, we're on the good side right now. I want you guys to think about lovers, right? You think about, some of these guys out here who have dogged women out, some of the women who have dogged guys out. And there's a name that comes up that I think is really indicative of what karma can do to you. Derek Jeter is known as a playboy, right? He was, just dating models, doing the X, Y, and Z during his playing days, never committed. And someone goes, so Drex, how come Derek Jeter was never Me Too'd, right? We've never heard anything negative about Derek Jeter. Well, for those of you guys who are well read on Derek Jeter, when Derek Jeter would bring these models over to smash, obviously, right? Go have a good time, smash, and then, move on, right? Do you know why their feelings weren't hurt? Like, oh my God, how dare he not commit to me and blah, blah, blah. So I'm going to ruin his life. Well, Derek Jeter did something that these other guys seem to not do. And by guys, I mean guys like dumbass Tiger Woods, who was probably the sloppiest cheater of all time. Derek Jeter was not only honest with these ladies, but he did this a little extra. And someone goes, well, Drex, what was the little extra Derek Jeter was doing? How did the karma swing to him in a positive light? He gave them gift baskets when he sent them home with the limo driver, or the private driver, right? He was honest with them, but he gave them something that made them feel special, right? And I'm sure that this is a multimillionaire, so I'm sure the gift basket was something that would have been very impressive, right? Like a nice bottle of wine. Who knows? Maybe back then that would have been his playing days. Maybe like the newest, latest, and greatest BlackBerry for that time. Whatever the case may be, right? Just stuff that would have made a woman say, "He treated me really well, and man, this guy has high standards for how he treats people." And whether it be me for one date or people that I saw him around it when I was dating him in New York. And you look at some of the ways that guys get Me Too'd, man. Like if you guys contrast that with someone like Mike Tyson, I love Mike. Shout out to Iron Mike. But one of the reasons why Desiree Washington Me Too'd Mike Tyson was that she felt disrespected. You always hear women say that shit. So Mike smashed and was like, "Oh yeah, okay, peace." Mike is savage, right? Well, the problem with being savage with certain types of chicks that you don't vet well enough in this case is that they feel slighted because they're like, "Well, how dare you treat me like this? I expected blank." So when they feel that way, prepare to get Me Too'd. So had Mike maybe, just maybe, had he just done that little extra, that tiny little investment in a gift basket and treating her to, instead of just being like, "Yeah, bitch, get the fuck out," having a driver pick her up in a limo, take her home with a gift basket, maybe that would have kept him out of a Me Too allegation. Just maybe. No guarantees. And to stick to boxing in karma, let's swing the karma back to the bad side for a bit, right? Let's talk about when karma swings the bad ways. I want you guys to go all the way back to the 60s. The heavyweight champion of the world is Sonny Liston, known for his stiff left jab, and he would come in, right? Big bruising. He was a mob enforcer, right? So Charles Sonny Liston. Now, Sonny Liston at this time was the man, the heavyweight champ. Who does he go against? What is the defining turning point for Sonny Liston's career? He fights a, not unproven, but fairly unproven loudmouth. They call him the Louisville Lip, Cassius Clay, who AKA Muhammad Ali. He goes against Cassius Clay. And before the fight, he put his hand, and he had huge hands, like freakishly huge hands, big, heavy hands. He put his hand on young Cassius Clay when he was sitting down eating, right? And he said something to him, right? Kind of just let him know that he was, ready for that fight they were going to have, right? And Ali talked about it. He's like, "Man, this is a scary dude. Like, I didn't know where to run or what the hell to do," right? You get to the ring. This is the night of the fight. You come in, you're being very, "I'm the champ. I got the swag. I'm about to do my thing." He gets in there, round one. Cassius Clay feeling him out. Round two, Cassius Clay feeling him out. Getting, you're judging range of what you're trying to do, right? Once you hit round three, you see Cassius Clay start to work on him a little bit, right? Because in the first round, he kind of realized, like, holy shit, this kid is fast. Like, these punches, he's slipping and pop, pop, pop. He just hit him a few times in round one. But once you get to round three, you'll notice, yo, man, this dude is putting hands on me. And this is when karma, this is when that energy, that negative, that demonic spirit took hold of Sonny Liston, the aging heavyweight champion. He puts a substance on his gloves, right? No one knows what this substance is. He thinks that cheating is the way to win the fight, right? Because he's a bully. He gets in the ring in round four, rubs the shit into Clay's eyes when he keeps, he constantly hugs him, right? Kind of like that Roy Jones Jr. Mike Tyson fight. So he's hugging him. He rubs this shit in his eyes. And all of a sudden, Clay is blinded, right? The fuck? I want you to imagine being, this is the heavyweight championship of the world, right? Imagine being a young, Cassius Clay was 22 years old when he won the title, right? Now imagine being a 22-year-old going against the seasoned veteran heavyweight champ, and all of a sudden you're fucking blind in the ring. You are blind. I can't see. In between rounds, right? He goes over there. He actually tells Angelo Dundee, the legendary trainer, he says, "Cut him off, Angie. I can't see, man. I can't see." Do you know what Angelo tells him? Because he says, "You're never going to get another shot at this heavyweight title," right? He tells him to get back out there, right? They take a little spongy, squirt it in his eyes, figure it out. Let this sink in. The trainer of Muhammad Ali, at this time Cassius Clay, puts his fighter in danger because he trusts him enough that he's going to figure it out. He says, get on your bicycle and dance. What the hell does that mean? That means float like a butterfly. He wants him to dance around Sonny, and then we'll figure it out between rounds. Clay takes some hits. He figures it out. He regains his sight at the end of the 5th round. He comes out in round 6 and whoops Sonny's ass and starts putting it on, right? 6 and 7. This dude does not answer the bell after he takes this beating. Sonny Liston gets hands put on him, right? He gets touched up. And when they come out, I believe it was the round 8, the bell for round 7 or 8. And they say, all right, ding, ding, let's go. He spits out his mouthpiece. Nah, I ain't fighting. So the bully was thwarted by young Cassius Clay, right? But it took Dundee, his trainer, with enough trust and enough karma to swing that negative energy that Sonny Liston did by trying to blind your opponent, which is some ratchet shit, right? And look what happened. He never became that guy again. And of course, later on when they had a rematch, you get that famous poster when Ali knocked his ass out, right? And we contrast that with Raquel Pennington when she fought Amanda Nunes, right? And going into round 5, she said, yo, I can't do this. And her trainer put her out there, and she ended up getting her damn face broken because her nose got snapped, right? And that's the negative side. See, that's how that karma, and of course there was a huge debate about that. Like, you have to know your fighter, right? And we see fighters who disrespect their opponent and they disrespect the sport. And I remember a lot of you guys will recall one champion of the world known as Ronda Rousey, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, right? When she was the queen of the fighting world, right? She could do no wrong. And do you guys remember what happened? There was an infamous exchange that happened. It's called karma. At the weigh-in between her fight with her and Holly Holm, she got a little testy, and people went, whoa, that was out of bounds. And they said, okay, the fighting gods said, Ronda, we're going to give you another chance to make it right because you were out of pocket at the weigh-in. Do you know what this woman had the audacity to do? She gets in the ring fight night. This was in Australia. That was the fight. I'll never forget. She gets, and when the ref tells you, he gives you your instructions. He says, all right, fighters, touch gloves. Holly Holm, the preacher's daughter, puts up both hands to touch gloves, which is the rule of the sport, right? The rule of the fight gods. Ronda Rousey declines and just doesn't touch gloves. And the crowd goes, ooh. See, this is karma. See, that negative energy you just put out. Ronda survives round 1. She took a hell of a beating from Holly Holm. And you're kind of like, oh, that wasn't so pretty. The arm, we thought when she grappled her, it was going to end. Nope, didn't work. Round 2, she gets her ass knocked out by a head kick, right? See, this is how that karma works. You see what I'm saying? It shifts. It's constantly shifting. And I've seen this as a person who's born and raised in Minnesota. The Minnesota sports teams, the news media here, right, runs a lot of quality out of town. So they ran Denny Green out. They ran Randy Moss out. They ran what's his face? He played for the Timberwolves. J.R. Ryder out, right? Big Papi started with Minnesota. KG had bitter feelings toward the owner, Glenn Taylor. And someone goes, well, Drex, where did these guys end up going? They went on other places and had significantly more success. And you look at these Minnesota sports teams, not including the Lynx, because no one counts the WNBA. They don't win shit, right? This is the same. Tim, I live in a state that lost its hockey team. I grew up with the Minnesota North Stars. All of a sudden, poof, gone. Hey, do you remember what happened when they went to the Dallas? They became the Dallas Stars. Do you remember what happened?
They won the cup.
They won the fucking cup. Hey, Big Papi, David Ortiz, right? Do you know he was drafted by the Minnesota Twins? And what happened? Oh, yeah, nothing much, right? Didn't really do anything because they didn't know how to, really, build that talent. Where did he go? He goes to Boston and becomes a fucking legend. KG won a title once he left. See, that's called karma. See, when you don't put pieces, because Tim, when you don't put pieces around you, you've seen this in sports, right? You will get a blue chip player, right? and you have cheap ass owners who will sit there and go, oh man, we got this guy. He puts asses in the seats. That's good enough because they're more concerned about getting money instead of winning titles, right? Because you have to invest in your team. You make more money by investing in your team, and your team becomes a winner because then you get bigger, better TV deals. Obviously there's revenue sharing, stuff like that. But by being more relevant, more jersey sales, more interest, people want to be a part of what you're doing.
Oh, it's funny you mentioned that. So the Minnesota Wild defenseman, Matt Dumba, yes, that's his real name, he started the whole raising your fist thing that the NHL was doing. That did not last long at all. But yeah, for Black Lives Matter, he was the one who started it.
Yep. How'd that work out for him?
Not well at all. That year, he promptly got eliminated from the playoffs, him and his team, and it hasn't come back since. Look, hockey's a simple sport. You stand on the blue line, you listen to the national anthem, and then you go and play.
Yep. It's simple.
It really is that simple. And that's how it is today. It's how it always should have been.
It happens. It happens that fast too, right? Like it happens before you know it. Karma just hits you like that. And I look at karma throughout media, right? And we'll stay on the bad side before we shift this right back to the good karma. How this energy, how it's constantly flowing in our lives. I want you guys to think about some mob movies that you've seen, classics, right? Obviously, I could talk about Godfather and stuff with Sonny's attitude, that got him whacked. Fredo being Fredo got him whacked. There's a couple of movies that really stand out to me. And obviously in mob movies, snitches get stitches, right? But so do the mad dog killer types. And the first movie that used that term, the mad dog killer, was in Casino. There's a character in that movie called Tony Dogs, right? And Joe Pesci's character, who's Nicky Santoro, the real life mobster's name was Tony Spilatro. He sits there, and Tony Dogs comes in. He's going to be the new maniac tough guy in town, right? And the voiceover narration, he says, here's a guy. He wants to be the new maniac tough guy. Here's a guy who shoot up, a couple of Remo's bars and a poor waitress who's just working on a night off of all things, right? See how this energy works, Tim? So you come into town shooting shit up, right? Because you're a mad. And obviously, all mob movies, everyone knows the thing, snitches get stitches. And when it comes to these mad dog killers in movies, right? In Casino, there's a dude named Tony Dogs who shows up, and he thinks that he's going to go ahead and shoot up a mob boss's bar, right? And this is how this karma swings. You want to impress people, and maybe you have a boss that's instructing you, right? Who's telling you to be a tough guy. So you decide you're going to be the maniac tough guy, you and your crew. You shoot shit up. Well, guess what happens? The energy swings back, right? Retaliation. And they end up saying, yo, we're going to send our mad dog killer to go eat you, right? They send Nicky. Nicky ends up having this dude's head in a vice. For those of you who have never seen Casino, man, it's a brutal scene. He has this dude's head in a vice, and he starts demanding information. And long story short, his eye ends up getting popped out. Yes, popped out from the pressure. He ends up getting his throat slit and everything. And it's all karma. Bro, you could have easily avoided this, right? And then Nicky himself, because he was too much enjoying his mad dog killer role, he was too unhinged, the mob turned on him. See, the bosses, right? The guys at the very top of the food chain. They see his actions like, yo, your actions are costing us money and ruining our reputation and getting us exposed. So we're going to have to go ahead and push the button on you. And they did, out in that field with his brother, with baseball bats. Brutal scene, right? So what happened to Ginger, the love interest of the movie, right? Of Ace Rothstein, right? She decides she's going to be Ratchet, right? She thinks being Ratchet and smashing best friends, which is Ace and Nicky, all of this is okay, right? She has a little old pimp boyfriend named Lester Diamond. She thinks doing fuck shit has no consequences. She thinks being on drugs and being a drunk has no consequences. Well, at the end of the movie, she just falls over dead from an overdose, right? They gave her a hot dose, right? Because see, that karma swung back by being reckless, by not staying in line. She ends up losing her life. See, that energy she put out there, using people, Then people used her. The last words that are spoken as Ace describes what happened to Ginger, he said within a few months they went through all the diamonds and all the money, right? All the jewelry, all the money. Months. Let that sink in. Within a few months, she went through all, and he had a huge amount of savings stored up for her, right? Within a few months, her little biker friends that are, coke heads and whatever went through all the cash, right? All the jewels. So now she's just broke. Could you imagine being a broke, aged out Vegas hooker? Not a good look. And there was, and Sharon Stone was great at the role. And that she literally is and falls over in a lonely, dingy looking hotel, man. And it's sad to see. You're like, damn, man, like it didn't have to be like this. But that's what happens when you're trying to always use people. Ginger, her whole thing was manipulation and using people. That was her game, right? And then she ended up just playing herself out, right? And this is how these things always work. For those of you guys who have seen Casino, also a Martin Scorsese movie, right? Tommy DeVito, Joe Pesci once again, is out here acting crazy, right? Short-tempered and everything. He ends up killing Billy Batts, a made guy, right? So how does his story end? He thinks he's going to be made, right? Deception. And when they pop him in the head, when he realizes that last moment, like, uh-oh, shit. And then he gets killed. Henry Hill is a snitch. He has to go in hiding and live in fear the rest of his life. See, there's always a karma. There's always consequence. That energy is constantly shifting. How did you treat people? Listen, you can't go into the mob or do any kind of criminal enterprise and think that at some point you're going to flip and go state's evidence and there's no consequence, Sammy the Bull. You look at Carlito's Way as another great example, right? And you look at Carlito's Way and Pachanga betrays Carlito, right? At the end of the movie. He thinks this is hypergamy, right? Pachanga, who's played by Luis Guzman, he thinks that betraying Carlito in favor of Benny Blanco from the Bronx is the right thing to do, right? And how did we get to this point at the very end of the movie? It's because Carlito did Benny Blanco wrong. And when you think about this, it was easy to avoid. All he had to do, Benny Blanco is he's a stan. Carlito is his hero, right? And for those of you guys who have seen Carlito's Way, I will never forget that scene when I saw the movie, man, is that even the bartender guy, the club owner guy, tells him, he's like, yo, Carlito, man, he's you 20 years ago. Like, he's just looking at you like, you're his hero. So Carlito treats Benny Blanco like garbage, right? Yes, he's a stan. Yes, he's really, he's over the top and obnoxious. But at the same time, it's like, yo, man, you got to remember, this guy sees you. This is like him meeting. It's like if you're a devout Catholic and you met the Pope, right? So Carlito is looking at Benny Blanco, just kind of blowing him off, like, oh, yeah, screw you, dude. And doing him wrong and punches him, beats him up. And he even says it in the voiceover narration, he says, man, dumb move. See? And that came back to bite him in the ass and cost him his life after he got his girlfriend pregnant, right? Stupid. Now, when we swing that same karma, right? Carlito was given a chance to do the right thing. He didn't. Yeah, and when we swing the karma back from some of the mob flicks into movies like Pulp Fiction, which really epitomizes the nature of karma, good karma and bad karma, swinging back and forth. You look at what happened to Butch, which is Bruce Willis's character, and Marcellus Wallace, played by Ving Rhames, when earlier in the movie, Marcellus tells Butch, you're going to throw the fight. He agrees to throw the fight, right? So you're agreeing with the crime lord. You're going to throw this fight. What ends up happening? Butch puts it on himself. He and his business partner or whatever, it's the night of the fight. Butch wins, runs the hell out of there because he knows he's going to have a hit on his head, tries to get away, and he ends up meeting up with Vincent, of course, John Travolta's character. And when he ends up whacking Vincent and tries to keep running, and of course, Marcellus gets to him. By the time they get to Zed, right? Zed and Maynard, a lot of people don't understand how this karma swung. Because when they're in that basement and he knocks out the Gimp, Butch can easily get up and just walk out right? And if you guys recall, his plan was to go to Tennessee, right? And if you guys look closely, when Butch stops right before he gets ready to leave and you hear him go, woo, you hear him out there, obviously clapping Marcellus's cheeks. Look carefully at those license plates and you see a Tennessee license plate, right? There's all these little just little trinkets, little reminders for him to swing the karma back in his favor by doing the right thing. Because he did double cross Marcellus. He agreed to throw the fight. That's what he agreed to. He didn't do it. So now, consequences, right? So what does he do? He decides, against the odds, to go save Marcellus, his mortal enemy at this point, right? And when he does so, the important thing to remember is this. It's not just that he kills the guys that were, of course, clapping Marcellus's cheeks. That's not what's important. What's important is the little details. When Butch first stabs Maynard, kills him. And then he goes, yeah, attaboy. Yeah, I'll go get it. I want you to grab it. He wants him to reach for the gun, right? And this is why this scene is important. At this point, Marcellus could just get up, grab the gun, and shoot both of them and call it a day, right? But see, this is the energy that I'm talking about, man. When I talk about how karma swings back and forth, it swings to the good side when Marcellus does not shoot Butch. He says, step aside, Butch. Shoots Zed, right? And then they, of course, agree to have the beef over. So the beef is over. He has to get out of L.A. Marcellus calls off the hit. So he doesn't have to look over his shoulder the rest of his life, right? And if we think about what happened earlier in the movie, right? Because Vincent is the only major character that gets killed in Pulp Fiction, right? Now contrast Butch and his good karma because he decides to make amends, right? Look what happens to Jules and Vincent when they get lucky in the little dingy apartment, right? When the gunshots go off and they don't get hit. Notice Jules' face when he sees that, and his character changes for the remainder of the movie, right? He's like, yeah, that's it. I'm changing. As of today, I changed. Notice Vincent. He just shrugs and goes, doesn't care, right? Look at his fate. See, his fate changed due to the karma. Had he changed right then and there, he wouldn't have been in that position later in the movie when he got sprayed up in the bathroom taking a shit, right? And you look at Ringo and Honey Bunny. See, Jules has changed at this point, the end of the movie. There's Ringo and Honey Bunny. See, by having karma take hold and just quitting while you're ahead, which is what they do, they live with a stash of everybody's wallets in the bag too, right? This always swings, man. It swung in a movie like Collateral. If you guys have ever seen the movie with Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx, great movie. Michael Mann is one of my favorite directors. But Lessons from the Screenplay did a great video about this. Check out his channel, by the way. He has great videos, great content. And in that movie, Jamie Foxx's character, the good karma swings his way because he was complacent for most of his life, right? A procrastinator, complacent. But when he's forced to slay the dragon, which would be the assassin, he has these opportunities, right? And conversely, Tom Cruise's character, Vincent, he has opportunities to leave this life, right? To finally go on the right path. When he gets beaten at the end of the movie, right? Because earlier in the movie, there's a little sign. He says, I got lucky with the lights. And at the end of the movie, it's a de ex machina, right? Where, yes, his character, Max, gets lucky with the lights because he has no chance against Vincent at all, against a trained assassin. So he just closes his eyes and fires blindly, right? Because of the good things he's done, right? He's finally grabbed himself by the bootstraps and going to make something of himself. He went to go save Annie. He's going to do the right thing, right? He finally taking action, taking control in his life, right? What was the consequence? Well, he lives and he's now a changed man. And there are guys out there throughout movie history that don't change. That's why when you look at The Matrix, of course, where we talk about in this space, the blue pill, red pill, there's Cypher who wants to live the blue pill life, right? He wants to live in a dream, right? Look at his fate for betraying his crewmates, right? That was his fate. So you contrast that, look at Neo's choices, right? Neo's fate, even sacrificial, was for the betterment of everyone else. That karma swings back. And by the time he gets to Machine City in Matrix Revolutions, terrible movie, by the way, but by the time he gets to Machine City, remember, the machines could easily just go still wipe out the humans in Zion. And he asked for a truce. Like, yo, look, you have a problem, Agent Smith. Okay. Now, the machines could easily just agree and say, yeah, sure. Yeah. You get rid of Agent Smith and we'll call it even. No, they could have just whacked him anyway. But this is what happens. This is how the karma swings back and forth. You see what I'm saying? And, of course, he ends up saving Zion. It happens that quickly in life. You look at how Morpheus invested in him. He got return on his investment. Even though Morpheus is betrayed by the Oracle, look at that. He still, in the end, got what he wanted. It is always that karma that swings. It's constantly shifting. That's the energy out there. It truly is. You can actually feel it. And when you look in your own regular life, right? We talk a lot about, and I'm not the first guy, and certainly won't be the last guy to talk about feminism, right? And you look at how karma is now about to really swing back on feminism, right? And as we start looking at some of the societal decay and all that, right? I want you to think about this. All the pain it's brought, dating, marriage prospects, work-life balance. A lot of the women who are complaining about this, they didn't step up when the shit was going bad, though, right? So now you're starting to feel it. When you start seeing kids twerking in Times Square, right? And someone thinks that this is okay. They think it's all just one big joke. And they wonder, well, how come no men want me? Well, now you're tatted up, right? Tatted up, used up, high body count. That's why guys don't want you. So yes, you'll find as many sexual partners as humanly possible. Yeah, of course. That's the easiest thing for a woman to get, especially with technology, with the dating apps, right? But look at how that karma swung. And do you know what you're starting to hear? I just want to be a housewife. I don't want to. You look at how much women are working. They're not built to work. And they're working more hours, more working. They're drinking more than men now, right? Articles get published. They're drinking more than men, looking miserable, hitting the wall earlier, right? And so now they're feeling what men deal with. And they're thinking, this isn't what I wanted. And now here's the sad thing. They can't go back. You can't go back to a one income household, see? Because they stagnated wages. So now you look at how quickly that swung. Because remember, people say, well, Drexel wasn't quick. It took decades to get there. But in a human's lifespan, in the mankind's lifespan, 100 years is a blink of an eye, right? Blink, that was 100 years. So, when people talk about empires that have come and gone, 100 years is not that long. And so as the karma starts shifting, right? Good, bad, you start pushing certain things and wondering why you're getting what you're getting. And, we've talked about that with the ladies on this show. The same boys that you single moms are raising are becoming the same men that you're complaining about. Why are these guys acting bitch made? Why are these guys out here so this, that, and the other? Well, I know why. It's simple. You raised them. This is what you endorsed. And, and to stay on that topic, I got a special message for all you German shepherds out there. We're going to look at abortion, right? Where German shepherds are 5 times more likely to abort than white women. And I want you guys to think about something with German shepherds. They spent 60 years, over 60 years with mainstream media, shitting on black men, disrespecting black men, right? Creating a narrative about black men that is not true, okay? It is true of a percentage, obviously, right? But they were the exception, not the rule, right? Why don't you go look at crime statistics before single mother-led households and Lyndon Baines Johnson came through with the great reform, right? The welfare bullshit, right? Blacks weren't in prison like that. Black people were building shit. Well, hold on. The black men were building shit. And you look at now, do you know what's funny? You hear these hashtags, don't you guys? Protect black women. Wait a minute. You would have a whole lot of warriors to protect you if you respected men and didn't abort over 44 million babies, most of them being male. That's why if you look at black American statistics, there are significantly more women than men. They aborted most of the boys. and the boys that grow up to be men or left are just bitch-made simps or thugs who are terrorizing them. And you know what the beauty of it is? You know what's so beautiful about it? Is that
Told you so.
Well, not only did I tell you so, Tim, do you know how, the matriarchy is so fucked? This is what they endorsed. See, the good black men, because, 52% of black men never reproduce. The good black men aren't respected, aren't loved, aren't catered to, aren't propped up in the black community. So what happens is you endorse thugs, you promote criminals, drug dealers, right? Rappers and shit like that. And that's all you promote. So all of a sudden you fast forward and you look around and you're like, damn, why is our environment so violent? Oh, that's why. It's because we endorsed criminality. Bitches like George Floyd. You see what I'm saying? Career criminals. They get murals, right? Good black men don't get murals. They don't get shit. So they just left. And now you have the whole, we're going to divest. So they went to White Zaddy, low-hanging fruit, right? Bottom shelf brads who put hands on them and beat the shit out of them. And they get right back to protect black women. Fuck them. Do not protect them under any circumstance. You understand? And you start to see how these policies, this energy they put out, right? How it flips back into their face. You look at all this SJW policy, right? You know what I'm saying? There's a New York Times article, man, I was reading, and you start to really see it right there out in the open, right? And it was in finance, and it was a record buyout is just a start as wealthy flee tax hike, right? This is from Bloomberg. So what you end up having, I'm not even going to read the article. You guys have already seen this. If you for those of my peeps out there that live in places like Florida, like Mr. and Miss Lex, you guys know you're starting to see a lot of New Yorkers flee to your state, right? They're fleeing because shit got fucked up upstate in New York, right? The taxes became unbearable, and they just punish them more to do what? To take care of the same people that they were endorsing and propping up, right?
And then they flee to Florida and vote for the same people who caused problems in New York.
Yep. Yeah. But Tim, do you see how that karma? It's cyclical. You see what I'm saying? It's an endless. So you look at what's happening, man. I got sent a crime statistic update, and it's beautiful. It is some beautiful shit. So it said it was about crime surges, right? Crime surges in American cities across the country, right? Versus this time last year, right? So this time last year would have been just after the whole George Floyd thing, but so there was an uptick. I want to share some of these stats with you. In Portland, homicides are up 533%. Shootings are up 126%. Okay. Atlanta, 58% up with homicides, 40% with shootings. New York City has homicides up 13, shootings up 64%. And also on there, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Philly. Now, one of the things that's funny about Chicago is that it says up 5% in terms of homicides and up 18% in terms of shootings. And someone goes, damn, that's not like a huge jump. But that's because they're all killing each other that much in Chicago anyway. Not much change, right? And there's a lot of things starting to come as these cities burn, and they were all burn it all down. And like, oh shit, now the businesses are gone. If the businesses are gone, where are you going to get money? See, this karma swings back. Had you done the right thing up front, you wouldn't be in this position. And you keep seeing more societal decay. The trans agenda is starting to collapse. More and more women are going to Capitol Hill talking about something. This isn't fair. When you remember they were always saying for so long, Tim, what were they saying? Oh, you're a bigot. Yeah, oh my God, you're transphobic. And all of a sudden, they're the real bigots and transphobes, right? Mm-hmm. You guys are starting to see so much karma swinging. There's about to be a fucking reckoning, okay? When you look at even little things, I want you guys to think about something as simple as OnlyFans. I don't know if you guys have heard, but OnlyFans is about to move away from adult content. Let that sink in.
How many millions of dollars are these Thots going to lose?
Oh, it's over.
It's the fucking Thotpocalypse.
Dude, this is you guys are literally witnessing the Thotpocalypse. Rent moratorium is coming.
That is the name of our next series. Once we're done, whenever we get around to recording Thot Girl Summer, whenever we're done with that, Thotpocalypse must be next. We'll do that in the fall.
Oh yeah, just all these hoes taking L's, right? Because Tim, it's about to
the greatest Twitter account of all time. Women posting their L's.
They're taking L's now. I want you guys to just think about the L's they're taking. Dude, These were the same females, and you guys know this, right? All my peeps out there in the Discord, everyone watching this, you guys know. Do you remember you've been hearing for quite a while now that men ain't shit, you ain't shit, they don't value you, you're good for nothing. I can do bad all by myself. Uh-oh. Once the simp bucks dry up, oh, Daddy Joe Biden, Creepy Joe, didn't bail you out of your what, Tim? Your student loans. All your free money from the government is starting to dry up. You didn't have any skills other than twerking, and you thought this shit was going to last forever? Uh-oh. What's that? When the money is gone, you're going to be left to your own devices. You ain't going to have shit. See, and you start to see that same thing swing back with some of these companies, right? Tim, you notice, right? Battlefield went woke, and now they're trying to backtrack, right? They're trying to, whoa, we're not gonna be woke anymore. No, fuck that. Let these come. Anyone who goes woke, anyone who steps out of line,
go broke.
You go broke. Do not buy this shit. Do not support it at all. Okay. You look at manga.
Looking at you there, Neil Cuckman.
Yeah, the fuck Neil. And you look at this thing, right? Dude, have you guys been seeing what's been happening? It's not just manga from the East versus Western comics from the West, right? All this silly, oh, we're going to turn this person trans. We're going to make sure the new Supergirl looks like a fucking dude with fake abs and this suit. We don't want the male gaze and all this other nonsense. Well, guess what? That karma is swinging back tenfold, okay? It really is. When you start looking at the way some of these things are going, dude, I've been seeing this all throughout my life. I mean, I see it in good, like I said, in good ways and bad ways, how karma swings. I mean, I look at something like the slave trade, right? The Africans, when people say African American, I would like to say Black American, because you have, people who obviously were never in Africa. They were born here. They just happen to have darker skin tone. And I look at the slave trade, right? So the people who were sent on slave ships, some were wrangled, some were sent, right? They were the ones who were defeated, tribes of the defeated. And they didn't give a second thought all this time ago, right? Many moons ago, hundreds of years ago, right? They just sent them off to the foreign peoples. Years pass, right? And the same Africans who were talking shit about Black Americans, right, have for decades been dying to get here. Have you guys seen the AIDS rates in Northern Africa? West Africa? And I find it funny. So you defeated someone, and then you thought so little of them that you sold them into slavery, right? You sold them into slavery because they were beneath you. You didn't view them as any humans worthy of respect, right? And then someone says, well, what happened, Drex? Now all of a sudden, it's gotten so bad on the mother continent for certain people. Some of them are doing well, right? And these people want to come here. And then someone says, well, Drex, so what about the United States? Well, guess what? There's going to be a reckoning here too. For all the people that thought, who thought treating Native Americans a certain way was okay, Blacks a certain way, Italians a certain way, the Irish a certain way. Dude, the energy swings back. It revolves. It's constantly shifting. So it's like you start seeing this stuff. And when you put the good energy out, you're going to start to see the return on your investment. When you're doing evil shit out here, whether it's to one person or to a group of people, don't be surprised when shit swings back on you and you're going, oh, how did this happen? And you start to see opportunities arise, right? Even when someone is your enemy, they can still go, hey, we may be enemies, but you did do some things that were respectable. I respect how you still treated me even as your enemy, even though I was defeated. Versus there are some people who would just start doing some insane shit. And then when that day comes, you saw this in a movie like V for Vendetta, right? Do you remember when at the very beginning of the movie, Prothero is sitting on TV he says, no one escapes their past. No one escapes judgment. He was, you had that fiery indignation, right? V comes back to hunt everybody who was involved in the experiments. See? And that's how shit starts happening. The government, right? They got that Norse Fire Cross and everything. The government decided they were going to go ahead and put people under authoritarian rule, thinking that this was how it was going to be. It's funny how it shifts, right? Obviously through V and Evie. And you see those opportunities shift in other ways in much more lighthearted fare, right? I can recall the story. It was Eminem's Behind the Music. I loved it because Eminem lost a rap battle, right? He plays second, and he loses, and he was bummed. He was like, "I'm just going to go back to Detroit and be a nobody," right? This was my dream. My dream just died. While he was sitting down, a guy approaches him and asks for his demo tape. He says, "Yeah, whatever, man. Fuck it." Throws the demo tape at the guy, not thinking twice because he was so disappointed. He has no clue who that guy was, right? Well, that guy was an Aftermath Records A&R. Aftermath is owned by Dr. Dre. The Eminem's demo gets back to Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre ends up calling M all the way back in his shithole in Detroit. M is convinced that is not really Dr. Dre. It's a prank. But of course, M goes out there. Dre flies him out to Cali. They start getting in the recording studio. Fast forward. M talks about this on a song all of you guys should listen to because it really goes to show how karma works. He made a song on the Eminem show called White America. It's a great song. Great song. He talks about the fact that when he says, when I was underground, no one gave a fuck I was white. No labels wanted to sign me. Right? Almost gave up. I was like, fuck it until I met Dre. And what does he say? He's the only one who looked past. Gave me a chance. I lit a fire up under his ass, right? You look at this situation with M. Dre was this was after his death row era, right? So Dre, the karma had swung back to him, right? He had put hands on D Barnes. He had issues with Suge Knight. He didn't want to sign Tupac. All these things happen. Dre is on the outs. He lost all of his masters to Suge Knight, right? Fast forward. Dre signs M. Later on, they sign 50 Cent. They make millions. Dre's now, like basically, depending on that divorce, damn near a billionaire. You look at how those things flip around, man. But it flips around because you started putting in the work. You did positive shit to people, and positive things started coming back. The same thing happened with Harrison Ford and George Lucas. A lot of people don't know that Harrison Ford was the guy who was only reading for George Lucas on when it was casting for A New Hope. A lot of people don't know that. He was just reading. He's just the script. And so eventually what ends up happening, George says, Harrison, why don't you play the role of Han Solo? Yep. Yeah. Harrison Ford was a fucking nobody. Dude, he was a nobody. And for those of you guys out there who are fans of Quentin Tarantino, he's put dudes on the map. He revitalized John Travolta's career. He revitalized Robert Forster's career and Jackie Brown. A lot of these guys weren't even getting work. And all it takes is that good relationship. And this is the reason why, if you guys have noticed, on the flip side, Lindsay Lohan has such a bad reputation on set, no one wants to work with her. You see what I'm saying? That's karma. Why would you treat people that can give you an opportunity later on like garbage? Well, we look at the Vic case, right, Tim? And we know why. These people are doing this shit for clout. They're doing it for money, for all kinds of shit, right? Just to destroy you.
Vic went off on Ron really hard, and I was like, whoa. I did not expect him to go off on Ron like that, but called him a clout chaser.
I'm a little surprised, but not shocked, because you know what?
That's obviously a guy who's had enough.
He's had enough. Ooh, do you know what my favorite thing is about what Vic was talking about with Ron? Is that Vic said, I think he said something like, I may have not even spent 10 to 15 minutes with this guy. It was literally, hey, Ron, how was the flight in? Oh, yeah, cool. Where are you guys staying? You don't want to, like just basic small talk, and you kept it moving. Dude, these people are lying, man. Look, shout out to my man, Vic Mignogna. Shout out to my brother, Nick Requeda, who did the show with Vic. I loved seeing that last night because I think it really ties into this episode about karma. Tim, did you see the amount of super chats that were coming in for our man, Vic?
Not just the super chats. If you were watching the actual live stream chat,
it was endless.
Endless, but it was all positive.
All positive.
There was so much love and prayers for you, Vic. And it's like, I mean, I was a little put off by it because it was a little too mushy for me. But there are people who legit owe their lives to Vic Mignogna because they were in a back spot and he talked to them.
Yeah, do you know what? Do you know what I liked about what Vic was talking about? And as we close out this show, this is the beauty of what Vic was talking about last night. That really ties into karma. Vic said for years he was in the position of people coming to him in dark times, right? Vic, I'm in a rough spot, man. You saved my life, right? You didn't just, oh, you talked me out of it. Just like, no, you saved my life, right? And then what did Vic say last night, Tim?
He never got paid. He never got paid in time for that.
No money exchange, right? It was an energy exchange. And do you know what he said? He said, imagine that, how it flipped around. You see how karma flips around? People come after you. Vic is in the darkest spot of his life. And who came for him? It's the same people that he helped. See? So now those same people, they're saying, hey, Vic, we got your back. See? These were the people that were in a down spot at a certain time, right? When you were rising up and you were a big voice actor and everything, and still is, obviously. But when Vic gets put through trial by fire, he has those same people that he was looking out for and giving encouraging words to. They're giving him encouraging words. All of a sudden, he gets on Nick's show, and there's this outpouring of love, and people saying, yo, we got your back. And he's kind of like, damn, Matt Suri's coming up in a couple of weeks. Damn, like things start happening. Dude, when the story gets revealed, who's lying, like who's saying what, who's really telling the truth, you really can see it, man. You could, because that was the first time I've actually seen Vic, for an extended period of time talking. His mom actually sent me the link to watch him, the show where he's like doing like a show in like the Star Trek uniform and everything. And but that was the first time I've really seen Vic just talk just like that. And you can hear the hurt and disappointment that like these are people he thought were his friends. And Tim, we talked about that last week, right? Fake friends, right?
Yep.
The vetting process.
Vic, in hindsight, actually realized, because he was talking about, I think it was Chris Sabat, who would always badmouth other voice actors. And he said, well, if he was talking like that behind other people's backs, why didn't I realize he was doing that behind my back?
Yep.
I think it was Chris Sabat he was talking.
Yeah, that's who he's talking about. Yep. But look at how that happens, though. Like, you just look at how quickly things can flip. And this is the reason why, this episode has been brewing in my mind for a while, because I just started kind of looking at how things are unfolding with, Nick and Vic talked about cancel culture on that. Dude, cancel culture is about to have its day. This shit's like all this woke shit is just about up. So there are people out there who are so woke, they think they're on the right side of history. But Tim, you and I both know the pendulum is about to swing. It's going to swing violently the other way, right? Just as hard as it swung one way, you're going to see that karma now shift, because see, people are tired of the woke, just like people got tired of staying inside, cooped up in their houses for a year, right? People are like, I don't give a damn about a mask. I'm just going out and I'm gonna have this Thot Girl Summer, right? I'm gonna go out here and live my life. See, there's only so long that you can have one energy pushing. It's gonna get counterbalanced, right? It's always gonna get counterbalanced, because even when you look at like the manosphere, right? This space has brought understanding, wisdom, and it's also brought unity, right? You start to see people have each other's backs. Yes, there's some infighting and bickering and people doing bitch-made shit, but you're starting to see, and that's why I liked that Vic stream last night with Nick, and I got to stay up and listen to it even when I was leaving work and everything. I'm listening to just the super chats a little bit afterwards. You're just seeing how that energy is starting to shift, where Vic is realizing like, yo, hold up. So someone can ruin my whole career with just saying something on social media. Game over, dude. That doesn't last forever. That whole mode does not last forever, because see, what ends up happening is that same energy they put out. This is how that ends up flipping. Journalists in the game industry work the same way, right? They want to demonize people, talk bad about people. They still want their money, right? And then criticize them when those same people that they just talk shit about don't give them money, similar to the black community. And what ends up happening, Tim, is that I looked at like the Metroid Dread trailer, which got the most traction, the most pre-orders. Yeah, GameStop said that's their biggest pre-order. And GameStop stocks are doing well here. You look at that Metroid Dread trailer, right? So here we have a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman named Samus. And the majority of people playing Metroid are male. I didn't hear anybody say something negative, right? So the games journalists are starting to, and do you notice something that's funny, Tim? This goes back to how karma works. Rather than make anything an issue and try to go woke, Nintendo just lets the game speak for itself. Do you notice like they didn't introduce Samus as, and starring a strong woman who don't need no man is Samus Aran. No. Nintendo just shows the game. This is the game. It just so happens to star a woman that you've known since 1986. Right? and it works. It works. So one of the things I want to ask you guys, you can obviously like, comment, and subscribe, but I want to ask you guys in the comment section is like, when it comes to this, how this karma works, what is the thing that the red pill has done, has really done for you, right? And what karma, good or bad, has living red pill or blue pill done for you? Because Tim, we've talked about this, right? TFM talked about it. A lot of guys came to TFM, talked about how, they were in a dark spot, similar to what happened to Vic, where guys come to you and they're saying like, yo, man, I'm in a really rough spot. It's because they were living that blue pill lie, right? And you start to see how when they educate themselves and get themselves up to speed with what's happening right here, right now, 2021, all of a sudden these good things start happening because they focus on other things in their life, not just, chasing tail, right? And there's bad sides to the red pill, right? I mean, sometimes you kind of like, man, I kind of missed the lie of thinking that this woman really loved me for me. She didn't. But there are guys out there who, when they look at just how this has impacted their life, how karma has swung. We talked about that on the call-in show, right? Where that couple said, "Yo, Drex, we took your advice. We started a whole new business." And I mean, think about it, Tim. You hit me up all those months ago. Yeah, Drex, let's go. Let's do it. All right, man, fuck it. Let's do it. You see what I'm saying? And here we are now, right? And Tim, it happened that quick, right? Nick was a guy that we've talked about this, right? People found out about Nick through this guy, all right? I think it was, we covered like the Maddox thing. That led to these fans. These fans led to this. It went into the Vic thing. It constantly shifts. You start doing shows with other people. People forget that Kevin Samuels was not known a year or two ago, right? Just like there was a time when Nick would, if you would have said Rekieta Law, people would go, who? Whereas now maybe someone's like, oh, I have seen that guy, right? It happens, man. It's that energy we put out there.
I'm still surprised the number of people I run into in day-to-day life that actually have seen Nick's channel.
Right? Well, you know what's funny about that? When I was at Nick's house, there was a guy who came to fix something. I can't remember what he was there for, but I think it was like Lady Rackets was there. Yeah, that's what it was. Lady Rackets was there, and the guy was like, "Wait, is this like the Nick Rekieta, like from Rekieta Law?" And so I think Nick ended up like stopping the show just to say hi to the guy. He was recording the show. and so so like you don't like, you just bump into people like that. Now think about it though, Tim. Something as simple as that, right? A guy like that, you say, "Hey, what's up, man?" You give this guy. So watch how this works, Tim. This is another example of karma. A guy comes to fix something at your house, right? You're just another job to him, right? You're just an order number. Oh my God, you're the Nick Rekieta. Well, guess what, Tim? Nick can give that guy a plug and give him business, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, on the flip side, that guy says, "Hey, yo, Nick, whatever you need, man, I got you." And I know guys that can, hey, if you ever need your roof done, see, that's how karma works, man. When you give out that positive vibe, but see, when you go out there on some hater shit, acting like these German shepherds, when you start doing hater stuff, was it some of the guys like how Vic got Me Too'd? You notice though, Tim, that never seems to end well. Have you ever seen how these chicks look? You see how Rose McGowan is struggling, right? Alyssa Milano is struggling. You see what I'm saying? See, you should have used that energy that you had, all that negative energy, and done something positive with it. And that karma would have swung back to you, man. So I want you guys to think about that when you're out living in the world, man. The good, the bad, it's a constant energy around us that's always shifting. Just do the best you can and stay positive with this karma shit, man, because it's very real, man. And I think that Vic stream that Nick just had last night perfectly illustrates just how real karma is. And that's what I got for you.
All right. Well, I guess we're running out of time here, so we'll have to put off the emails again to next week. That's fine. I'm actually not getting as big a backlog as I normally do. Looking at the channel analytics, Drex, 82% of the people who watch this show are already subscribed to the channel, which means 18% are not.
Shame on them.
So, if you want to be notified when we upload our weekly dose of red pilling, make sure you hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and all that fun stuff. And for those who are listening who said, "Well, I'm subscribed, but I didn't get a notification," double check, because Susan likes to fuck us.
Dude, I've been hearing that a lot from a lot of YouTubers. And for those who are listening, you guys know the Discord is lit. And you guys know I love putting my Discord on. Look out because Thot Girl Summer is coming. As you guys know, my schedule finally changes due Monday, right? The 28th. And I'm excited because Tim, we're gonna knock this shit out of the park, man. We're getting all of our military brothers, our guys like Lex and everything. We got a lot of people out there who have a lot of stories, and we're gonna start cranking these fucking stories out, man.
Oh yeah, we got Thot Girl Summer. We've also started a new channel called Migtown Arcade. That's where I uploaded the E3 trailer review.
I love it, dude. Games, everything, and you guys know.
Oh,
man,
we're gonna
our
be doing some more
Discord is
gaming
lit.
content.
Oh, absolutely, man. Our Discord is lit.
At the end of summer, as like the celebration to the end of the Thot Girl Summer, maybe I'll do like a free Discord day or something.
Yeah, our Discord's great,
Where
man.
everyone could just get a chance to hop in for a bit and interact. I don't know. I technically that might be difficult to pull off, so I'll have to see. I might have to make like a new server for that. But
right? We'll figure it out. Like I just think, like here's the thing that's funny about
where there's a will, there's a way.
Oh, of course. One of the things I find funny is just like with the whole Discord thing, and it's just giving all these people who support us a voice. You know, we do our live chats. Hell, we've done live chats. Tim, I remember you went to sleep, woke up. Fucking, you guys still going?
Fucking, I went out storm chasing. It was like 1 in the afternoon out here Mountain Time. I get back to my house. It's dark outside. It's like 10 o'clock Mountain Time. I open up Discord. I see half of you guys are still in here. I'm like, the fuck, guys?
Oh, man. Our Discord is crazy, man. And we got more. We got random stories like shout out to our girl, Miss Lore, who's telling about more fuck shit that just happened.
She was a little drunk the other night.
Well, you know. Well,
how do you get into the Discord? Because I get to ask that every single fucking episode in the comments.
But it's in the tab, right? On the show?
Yes. You have to be a member of Patreon or Subscribestar, at least at the $5 level.
Yeah, and for those of you who are in our Discord, you can let them know it's more than worth it. Our Discord is fun. Our live chats are fun. And watch out, guys, because due to Lana Rhodes, who now is pretending that she doesn't want to be a thot no mo and wants all of her content deleted, just in honor of her and Riley Reid getting married, because, you know, there's always a cuck out there to save these hoes, we are going to do yet another degeneracy chat. And look, man, I am all about degeneracy. And you know what, Tim? We're going to do like a special bonus episode on degeneracy and really get into just how degenerate we can be, man. Because
I can throw that one up on Migtown.tv. Oh, by the way, right. For those who don't know, yes, support us on alternative platforms. All the links are in the description of every episode. Migtown.tv has an exclusive upload where we brought in Phil and Ken Jennings to debate. Now, I'm not going to give away what the topic material is. You have to go look it up yourself, but it's Migtown.tv/@symbol Migtown podcast. We got to get, speaking of Migtown, we got to get Ammer in here.
I know. I like I said,
Alpha Male Lifestyle. He's we got to get him in here someday.
Dude, I'm so pumped for to be able to give you guys so much more content as my schedule finally changes. That's going to make everything easier. And
what about Ghetto Gaggers?
Yeah,
look, we just don't talk about that anymore.
You know, it's funny. We were just talking yesterday. Just talking to him. He's still dealing with his whole. He just got a new place. He just got a new place to film. So that's what he's been working on. So that's why he's been so busy. So yeah.
God damn it, Koopa. Yeah, you got me. You broke me. I thought I was gonna get through the episode without you breaking me, but you got me.
But it's definitely coming, and that's gonna be epic. I can't wait till Anime Matsuri in a couple weeks. I'll see exactly 2 weeks from now, right? Yeah, exactly 2 weeks from now.
So I've pre-recorded an episode, so don't worry about Anime Matsuri. We'll still have a normal release that Friday, but we've gone ahead and pre-recorded it, so it might not be relevant, but I think you'll like the episode. Nice. Drex, to refresh your memory, that's the one with that was the one where we brought Ken in, where he went through the DSM.
Oh, of course.
Suicide. Yeah, it was the suicide episode. Oh yes, the bonus episode with RPM releases. So when you listen to this recording, which comes out Friday. The bonus episode 7 with RPM, releases the same day.
Nice. Oh, you know what's
And
great?
that was Migtown After Dark, guys. The censor filters were off. We got real deep on that one.
You know what's great about RPM is because he served, I'm going to definitely, we'll have to reach out to RPM for our Thot Girl Summer series. We're going to have to do I think we have to do a 2-parter just for the military. Because I got some military guys who got some stories, and we're just going to be like this, and go. Story time. Talk about the most thottish shit that happened in the service, man. Because these guys got stories, man.
So explain to me, someone's asking to explain what Thot Girl Summer is.
So...
Or what Hot Girl Summer is,
it's the same as Hot Girl Summer. We just call it Thot Girl Summer just in case someone tries to come after us for copyright. Branding, right? So what ends up happening is a lot of these girls, especially this year is going to be the worst. This is going to be the worst of the worst, man. A lot of these girls, they got cooped up inside and they're like, I'm ready to just go YOLO, live my best life. You know, you only live once. They're going to go out there and do the most. Now, never mind the STD rates are up. I think it's 3,000%.
Miles of dick. Miles of dick.
Literally miles. Like, dude. So there are 5,280 feet in a mile. These hoes are about to take so much dick this summer, man. It's gonna make like even like the worst hoes of yesteryear, right? Olivia Del Rio shit. They're gonna look like, damn, man. Like we didn't even do that. And Coach Greg Adams talked about that, man. He talked about just how bad, like, dude, and God forbid you end up going to some place like Alaska where STDs are rampant. But, dude, guys out there, man, protect yourselves. I'm not going to say anything to the females. I know they're not going to listen anyway. They're going to go get ran through. So go do what you do. Get ran through. I mean, I appreciate you hoes out here getting ran through. And dudes, protect yourselves because, Tim, this is going to be the worst, man. They've been stuck inside for a year. This is going to be the worst showing ever. They are about to do the most in 2021. And Tim, you're already starting to see it, right? Like you've been hearing about airlines are getting oversold again because all the trips getting taken. They are ready to fly out and do the most. It's a good time to be alive. What can I say, man?
It's great.
But yeah, we'll holler back at you guys. Like I said, we've got lots of content.
So, man, we got, like I said, we keep talking about the exciting stuff. We're just waiting for Drex's work schedule to clean up, which is next week. We'll be on a filming marathon. I promise you guys. Thot Girl Summer, the regular scheduled episode. By the way, if we were talking about military stories, I think I'll get TFM back in.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I think that one is going to have to be like a 2-parter, man.
Obviously. Well, if we bring TFM in, that automatically is a 2-parter.
Yeah, I know, right? There's just so many stories that military guys have to tell, man. And I know people from the different levels, right? There's Navy, Air Force, Marines, Army. These guys got stories, man. They got stories. So
RPM was Navy, right? What was TFM?
He was Navy. So TFM was Navy. TFM is Navy. RPM is Navy.
Undead Chronic. I'll reach out to Undead Chronic and see if he'll.
Yeah, Ken Jennings was Air Force. Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, there's guys from all over. They got stories. Force. Yeah, dude.
Optimus, were you Army?
Lex was Army. It's so bad, man. It's so fucking bad.
Army.
Yep, he was Army.
We've got all 3 branches. I know a Marine. He's not a super big into your content, but he's in Nick's server.
Oh, yeah, don't worry. Yeah, we'll definitely.
Shout out to Spectre.
Yeah, you know what we should do? How about this, Tim? We get like one episode because we'll do all the branches, right? Maybe because like National Guard is different. It operates differently, but like we'll do like one episode Army Navy, the other one like Air Force Marines or something like
Space
that.
Force.
Space Force. NASA. Fucking these bitches ain't shit. On the planet or off planet. Yeah, Coast Guard. Oh God, I forgot. I do know someone that does Coast Guard. Yeah, dude, Tim. People need to know how bad it is because do you know who's actually going to be listening to our recordings?
Mama Vic,
our beloved Mama Vic.
Mama Vic is by far my favorite fan. Shout out to you, Mama Vic. And you know something? Now that Vic Mignogna has gone on to Nick's stream and told his story, I don't think there's a reason why we should wait any longer to invite Mama Vic onto the show.
Oh yeah, I'll definitely see her. My plan is to hopefully catch her at Matt Surrey.
Yep, and see if she's interested. I know she's into Discord here, so she can come in and talk if she ever figures out how to use a computer. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
We'll definitely get her on.
We love you, Mama Vic. Shout out to you. You raised a fantastic son. You raised him right.
Yeah, definitely, man. So yeah, shout out to them, and like I said, be keep on the lookout for all the content coming, man. We're out. Tim, go ahead and say your goodbyes. I'll say my goodbyes.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for joining us on this episode 30. We'll see you again next week. Stay frosty.
Peace.